All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's week 4, and the 1-2 New York Jets are going to be at home in MetLife Stadium, taking on the 2-1 Kansas City Chiefs in prime time, Sunday Night Football. And man, there's so much chaos. There's so much drama with this team right now. It's a bit crazy. I mean, at times it just feels like it's complete pandemonium. But I really want to start this preview video off on a positive note. Although it seems a bit wild, the Jets have an opportunity this Sunday night to flip the script, to change the narrative here. And again, I know there's a lot of things going wrong right now, and it's kind of like pick your poison, whatever you want to talk about, whether it's Saleh's press conferences, leadership, accountability, Nathaniel Hackett, Zach Wilson, O-line, Joe Douglas, how he's really handled this quarterback situation. But if you look at just this game, and this is kind of the mindset, if I was Saleh, if I was Hackett and Ulbrich, this is the mindset that I have. This week 4 matchup could be huge. It could be huge. Why? Because the Jets are 1-2. I know it seems, right? I know I'm not the only fan out there that feels like we're like 2-9, but we're only 1-2. We are 1-2. If the Jets at home on prime time shock the world and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, not only will the Jets just be back at 500, 2-2, but it would be a huge mental victory as well, right? For the players in the locker room, for the coaches, for the fans even. I mean, think about your your mentality waking up that Monday morning in the event that the Jets win. You are thinking, hey, you know what? Despite all of this stuff going on with the team, right? Again, all this chaos, we are still 500. We just knocked off the defending Super Bowl champions. We are in this. And look, we're going to talk about how great the Chiefs are in just a second here and why this is going to be something difficult here. But I will say this, just throwing it in there because it's a fact. The Chiefs are 2-1. You look at their schedule so far. And by the way, not only are the Chiefs just 2-1, we can talk about all their great rankings, right? Their top 10 in pretty much every single major offensive statistic: points and yards per game, third downs, red zone, touchdowns. The Chiefs are top 10, and then defensively, they're pretty much in the same exact boat. They're 6th in yards allowed, but they're top 5 in every other major category defensively. So, this Chiefs team is great, and of course, they just won the Super Bowl. But again, this is a fact here. When you look at their schedule, 2-1, they lost in week 1 against the Detroit Lions, and then their wins came in week 2 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they won, I believe it was 17-6 or 17-9. And Jacksonville this season has been pretty disappointing. They just lost a multi-possession game to Houston last week at home. Not a lot of people saw that coming. And then in week 3, the Chiefs beat the Chicago Bears. Granted, they beat them down pretty badly, but it goes to show, hey, we're 3 games into the season. KC's 2-1. Their 2 wins have been really good wins, but you look at their competition, right? Specifically, you look at pass rushers that this team has had to face so far, and we can talk about Kansas City's offensive line protection. What they do protecting Patrick Mahomes, they are literally the best team in the entire National Football League. Mahomes just doesn't really go down. He's not getting sacked. Now, part of that is offensive line play. Part of that is just Mahomes, greatness, ability to elude, ability to extend plays, get outside the pocket, knowing when to throw the football away. But if we're just focusing on numbers here, the Chiefs have not faced a pass rush like the New York Jets this season. They have not. So that could be, a wake-up call to Kansas City, right? I mean, you want to compare Chicago's pass rush to the Jets, just like, names on paper, talent level, depth. That's the one thing that this Jets team can hang their hat on, despite all this stuff going on. We have a good defense. Right? And if I know we haven't been all that productive in getting after the passer these past 2 weeks against Dallas and New England, but man, we have the guys here. We have the horses in the stable. If the Jets want a chance in this game, we have to be able to get in the backfield. Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Bryce Huff. Who knows? Maybe Will McDonald will be active for this game. I'm not sure, but we have edge players. We have guys on the inside. Quinnen Williams, Quentin Jefferson. I love the Jets' defensive line. I absolutely love it. And I do feel like, despite all these negative things that are happening to the Jets, and how their offense has just been a complete joke, the defensive line is no joke. The defensive line is no joke. We have to get after Mahomes. Now, offensively, this is where we have to shake things up. This is where we have to do things differently, right? The Jets' offense this season has been laughable. I hate to say that. I did not think I was going to be saying that 3 weeks into the season, right? But here we are. We can't really pass the ball effectively. We can't really pass protect effectively. We can't run block. We can't really run the ball. Although we have some really, really good players, I would go as far as to say potential stars in football. Breece Hall, AVT, Garrett Wilson. It seems like there's just a real lack of creativity. There's a lack of accountability. There's a lack of changing personnel. And it does kind of seem like there is a resistance to doing things a bit differently. I mean, man, there's numerous points that you can bring up on or numerous suggestions that you would like to maybe see the Jets do, right? First thing that pops into my mind, can we play Mecole Hardman? Chiefs fans, they know him really, really well. I've actually been getting a few messages from Chiefs fans saying like, hey, we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at the highlights, we're looking at what everybody is saying about this Jets team, and everybody is saying, that the offense is horrible. Like, what's going on? Mecole Hardman was an explosive player. We're checking the stats, and he's not even getting in the game. He's getting a handful of snaps every week. How does that even make sense? My response is, I don't know. I don't know if Hardman's in the doghouse. I don't know if the Jets coaching staff just prefers, a Randall Cobb over Hardman at this point. I'm not sure. The same exact arguments could be made for Xavier Gibson. Obviously, Gibson is young. He's an undrafted free agent, but he has been one of the most explosive players when we look at regular season performance so far with the football in his hands. How about we get these guys in the game some way, somehow? I don't feel like it's that challenging to line that. To go out and sign Mecole Hardman, you have to have a plan in the first place. You're not just signing him and saying like, okay, we don't know how to use him. Like, it's just, I just don't get it. We need to see Mecole Hardman. We need to throw the ball deep, and that kind of goes hand in hand with bringing Hardman on the field. That's something that the Jets just don't do. We can talk about maybe getting Zach Wilson outside of the pocket, whether that's play action bootlegs, whether it's like a speed out, whether it's just a quick rollout. And I'm talking, you can use play action through shotgun or from under center, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do to kind of get Wilson on the move. He has a really, really powerful arm. He does have mobility. I think it's a mistake at this point, understanding how thin we are on the O-line, and quite frankly, how we haven't really performed in the offensive trenches, to just drop Zach Wilson back, and forcing him to be a pocket passer. We need to do things a bit differently there. I think there's some stuff that we can kind of get creative with. We can talk about making sure Breece Hall has enough carries, has enough touches throughout the game. In my opinion, he is the best skill player that the Jets have on the offensive side of the football. Let's make sure he's the focal point. But again, I think one of the biggest things here is at the very least, I need to see a couple of shots down the field. I'm not saying that the Jets have to completely change their, philosophy here or anything like that, but at least like they have to keep the defense honest. We actually had some comments from Chiefs linebacker Willie Gay about the Jets offense, what he's seen on tape from the offense and Zach Wilson. He said it's a team that looks like they want to run the ball. He wasn't really, joking around when he said it. He didn't want to, come across as funny. That's just kind of what he saw. He also said that it looks like an offense that's in panic mode. Personally, as a fan of this team, somebody that watches every snap, that's the sense that I get as well. So, we had a report come out from Rich Cimini talking about how the locker room could quote unquote implode if things continue going the way they have been, which is never something that you want to see ever. But assuming that report is true, we're in a situation where the players in the Jets locker room can see offensive struggles. The fans can see offensive struggles and understand that things need to change. And also, by Willie Gay's comments here, he's kind of proving that other players, other teams around the league have noticed this as well. If you can have comments like this days before the game even starts, what does that tell you about Hackett's offense and what we've shown so far? Granted, we've played some good defenses, but I mean, man, like, think about, and this is kind of the example that I always throw out there. Put yourself in the minds of the safeties in the back end of the defense, right? It doesn't matter the team, just, you're playing the New York Jets this Sunday. Is there an actual thought that goes through the safety's head? You know what? They don't have a single deep threat on the playing field. Their real consistent deep threat, Mecole Hardman, doesn't really play. They haven't really called a single, bomb, like a designed bomb down the field at all this season. It really feels like everything is in front of the defense. They're playing within this, weird 15-yard, like, rectangle. It seems like there's a brick wall beyond 15 yards. Like, they just cannot go beyond that point. It's just strange, So I feel like defensive coordinators, defensive head coaches, right? They can read this offense like a book. So in order for the Jets to have some success, I do not want to see the same stuff, which is confusion, which is losing one-on-one matchups, bad play calls, run, third and long pass, run, third and long pass, putting Zach Wilson in situations where he's like a drop back passer and he's not getting outside of the pocket. He doesn't have an opportunity to utilize his arm strength or utilize his mobility outside of the pocket to potentially extend a play, constantly taking Breece Hall off the field. There's just a lot of question marks, right? I would like to see Jeremy Ruckert maybe get some more playing time at tight ends. I felt like he's looked pretty good this season, and also provides, in my opinion, a little bit more speed at the tight end position as well. So anyway, the point is, we have to do some stuff differently here. I am not trying to see the same exact Jets offensive unit week after week after week, and then to hear Saleh say in the postgame presser, nothing is changing, everything is totally fine. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are you expecting from this game? Again, despite all this negative stuff going on, we have an opportunity, and I feel like that needs to be the message in the locker room. That needs to be the mindset from Saleh. I can put all this to bed. If the Jets upset the Chiefs in front of the entire world, things will change. Things will change. The narrative, what people are saying about this team, the buy-in, the potential buy-in from the locker room, all that stuff changes immediately. Immediately. It gives people hope. It gives players, it gives fans hope to buy into something. But again, they have to go out there and execute. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.